Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm and this is it. This is the big one. This is the whole shebang. It's the whole enchilada. It's the whatever metaphor you want to use. This is it. This is the text adventure game. I'm so excited. This is my favorite project in the first term because I get to see your creativity really come to life in this project. So I cannot wait to see what you guys turn in. So here are the requirements for this project. So 1, you have to change the background color and the text color somewhere in your game. Okay, that's easy. We know how to do that. That was from the very first project we ever did. 2, you have to use variables to store your player's input somehow. So give them a choice, store that choice, use that choice later on. 3, you have to do some math operation using variables. This does not have to be a complicated math operation, as you'll see in my example here in a moment. 4, you have to use an array to store possible outcomes for the user. This is something that I will show you how to do in just a minute, but we did this in a couple weeks ago when we were working on our Magic 8-Ball project. We also used an array again last week when we did rock, paper, scissors. We want to randomize the outcome of something with a random statement. Now, I taught you how to use random in conjunction with an array. Maybe do that. We're going to use conditionals to change the game based on user input. Conditionals are if-else statements. Don't get confused by the language here. If-else statements are conditional. So you need to have an if-else statement somewhere in your game. And number 7, we're going to use a switch, that thing that I just taught you in the last video. We're going to use a switch to create a branching structure through our game. That's going to be the main backbone of our game, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. Actually, let's do it right now. Okay, before I click on this tab though, I want you to be aware of something. This looks like a lot, and it kind of is. Don't freak out. My program is still under 100 lines of code. All right, and a lot of those were just copy and pasted, to be quite honest with you. It looks like a lot, but it is. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a lot, but you can handle it. I believe that you can handle it. Okay, let's take a look. So this is my project. I told you, it looks like a lot, but it's not. It's only, 82 lines of code. We'll be fine. Let's go all the way to the top and let's work our way through the logic here. So in the top here, the first thing I did was I declared my variables. So these are all my variables here. I have a string user variable to store user input. I have a string array called animals where I have about 10 animals in here. I have a random. I'm creating a new instance of the random because I'm going to be using my random. I have an integer index 1, which is a random index that I'm going to use in conjunction with this animals array. I have a second one as well, and you're going to see how I'm going to use that. And then I have an integer called years. That's going to be something that the years index is going to be used to do some math. Or the years integer, sorry, is going to be used to do some math. Then I've changed my background color and my foreground color. Notice I chose this dark cyan color. I like it a lot. Then we have the opening section. UMA the game. Console write, enter your age. In here, remember that try parse? Okay, I'm bringing in the age as an integer because I want to do some math with it later. So I needed to use this try parse to get the age in there as an integer instead of as a string. Then I'm going to clear my screen. Then I have this write line. You wake up in class and see an angry Mr. Storm glaring at you. What do? Look at all these -n's that I have in here, by the way. That's just me formatting my output and trying to have control over how my paragraphs look. You don't necessarily have to do it the same way I did. So then I give you a set of options. Do you A, cry, B, apologize, C, punch Mr. Storm? Those are your options. Then I give them a spot to enter their answer, and I accept that answer and put it into the user variable. Clear the screen again. Then I have the main structure of the program. The rest of the program is being handled by this switch here. And this switch is based off of the first option, the first thing they entered, right? So the switch is based off of the user input. Let's take a look at this case. Now, if they type lowercase a, I want to handle that. If they type uppercase a, I want to handle that. If they type cry, because a is cry, I want to find that. If they type lowercase cry, I want to handle. So you see what I mean? I put in a bunch of cases to handle any possible combination of options they would enter. I could have also done this to lower and then gotten rid of this case here and this case here. Make it a little cleaner. That's fine. Now inside of this case, I'm going to say, all right, you burst into tears. Mr. Storm looks confused. Before he can respond, you bolt out of the classroom. In the hallway, you were greeted by A. This is where my animals index comes in. Or you were greeted by a creature that looked like a mixture between A, animals index 1, and a animal index 2. Meaning it could be a shark spider, or a gorilla horse, or a donkey platypus, right? It's going to pick 2 of those random ones. Then I'm going to give them another option. What do you do? Do you A, run toward the creature, or B, run the other way? I'm going to use that same user variable because I don't need it anymore. I've already used it once for the switch. Now I can replace the data inside. I'm going to use that same user variable to grab their input. Then here, if user equals A or if user equals A, I can even go ahead and get rid of that comparison and just do to lower. So notice how there are multiple ways to do some of these things. I could have used the or comparator, or I could just do it the way I did it like that. So if user equals A, then I will change my background color to green. So A is run toward the creature. Change my background color to green, clear my screen, change the console color to black, and say you run toward the creature with your fist raised, ready to strike. The donkey platypus turns out to be Major Workman. You realize you really should start wearing your glasses to school. Major Workman gives you the rest of the day off because you look stressed. You win, so you've just won the game. Perfect. Run this program to play again. Now this is going to be the end of the game here. Once this is done, look, there's all this other code, but the if statement is finished, so this we don't need. Then the break is going to break us out of the switch, and after the switch is over, there's nothing left. So if we go that way, then the game is over at that point, okay? Now else, meaning they didn't go A, they went another way, they went away from the animal. So you turn to run, and the human gorilla chases you, right? It catches you and you explode into a million pieces. You lose. So that's a lose screen. And I change my console color to red in that instance. Let's actually try that because I don't know if I've tested that condition. So let's see. Your age, 45. I'm not really 45. I'm 35. I just put in a random number. A, cry. And B, run the other way. Okay, that looks good. All right. So that's case A. Then case B is to apologize to Mr. Storm. All right, so we're going to change the console color to green, change the console color to black. You say you stutter an apology. Mr. Storm says, no worries, get to work. You wipe your forehead and go back to sleep and go back to sleeping as soon as he walks away. You live another day. You win. So that's a win condition there. Then we have punch. This is where I'm going to do some math. So years plus equals 10. So whatever they put in there for their age at the top of the program, we're going to add 10 years to it and then use it down here. So red, console right line. You swing at Mr. Storm and strike him in the chin. He goes down like a sack of bricks. The cops show up and throw you in jail for years plus years. So up here, years is going to be years plus 10. So if I put in 45, then I'm going to jail for 55 years. So let's play a couple of rounds and see what works, see what happens. Age 76 or 78. Let's try punching Mr. Storm. You swing at Mr. Storm and he jail for 88 years. That's gross. That's crazy. Okay, let's run the program again. Age 12. Let's cry. You burst into tears. Mr. Storm looks confused. Before he can respond, you bolt out of the classroom. In the hallway, you're greeted by a creature that looks like a mixture between a tiger and a gorilla. What do? Let's run toward the creature. You run toward the creature with your fist raised, ready to strike. The tiger gorilla turns out to be Major Workman. I'm going to call him Tiger Gorilla tomorrow, and he's going to be super confused. You realize you really should start wearing your glasses to school. Major Workman gives you the rest of the day off because you look stressed. All right, that's our game. Now look, I've included everything in here that I'm looking for in the rubric. Look, colors, I've done that. I've used variables to store user input. I have a math operation. There's an array in there. I've randomized. I've used conditionals, a switch. The format, it's clean. There's no spelling or grammar errors. The game functions without any errors. I can run the game and it doesn't break on me. This is 100% on the assignment, okay? Now, some of you are looking at this and you're going, there's no way I could actually do this. Really, most of it is just, 5 or 6 lines of code inside of cases inside my switch. Okay? It's really not that much. And again, if you want me to help you, please let me know. Even though this is a power standard, I'm still willing to come over and give you a hand and help you if you get stuck. Okay? The important thing is that you turn this assignment in on time. All right? Even if you don't feel like you're completely finished, turn in the assignment and I will grade it and tell you how to fix it. We still have about a week or so after the assignment's due before the term is officially over. So you'll have some time to fix it if you make mistakes. Turn it in on time. No matter what, we can fix the mistakes later on. Okay, that's it for me. Hopefully you guys have fun with this assignment. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And I can't wait to get started in next term when we get into more awesome control structures and things of that nature. All right, peace.